Hi, you guys. Good morning. I've got some good stuff for you today. But first, I have a little bit of housekeeping. For this podcast episode, I've been doing two separate podcasts for a while, the Light in My Eye Scripture podcast and 5 Minutes Better. And I've decided that it's time to combine the two because Scripture study has been such an integral part of my own fight against depression. Now, for anybody that doesn't believe in God, I would just suggest that you hang in there and listen for the truths because I could extrapolate applicable lessons and principles from a fiction novel just as easily. The second little bit is that I haven't been sure how to make a clean transition. For convenience sake, I think I will repost some of the a few of the recent relevant Light in My Eye episodes here in 5 Minutes Better, because in the Scripture podcast, I've been exploring the idea of mission and purpose, and I believe those are integral in the fight against depression. So it might be like a little bit messy or confusing for a while, but I think that we will be able to get any potential wrinkles worked out. So this morning I'm in 1 Nephi, and instead of reading all the background stuff, I'll just quickly bring you up to speed. Nephi and his brothers have traveled to Jerusalem and asked Ishmael and his family to come travel with them so that the boys in Nephi's family can marry the girls in Ishmael's family. And Ishmael and his family are touched by the Spirit. And so they're like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's go. Somewhere in between Jerusalem and the campsite of Nephi's father, Laman and Lemuel and some of Ishmael's family rebel, and they want to go back to Jerusalem. So I'll pick up there in 1 Nephi chapter 7, verse 8. And now I, Nephi, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, therefore I spake unto them, saying, Yea, even unto Laman and unto Lemuel, Behold, ye are my elder brethren. How is it that ye are so hard in your hearts, and so blind in your minds, that ye have need that I, your younger brother, should speak unto you, yea, and set an example for you? How is it that ye have not hearkened unto the word of the Lord? How is it that ye have forgotten that ye have seen an angel of the Lord? Yea, and how is it that ye have forgotten what great things the Lord hath done for us in delivering us out of the hands of Laban, and also that we should obtain the record? Yea, how is it that ye have forgotten that the Lord is able to do all things according to his will for the children of men, if it so be that they exercise faith in him? Wherefore, let us be faithful to him. So here's the thing. I believe that when we are reading Scripture, it is really easy to slip into kind of a good guy versus bad guy sort of thinking. And of course, we relate to the good guys and we want to emulate their strengths and their behavior. Well, I want to take a little bit of a different approach with this passage. In the last few episodes of Light in My Eye, I've been talking about mission, about listening to God and his voice that calls us to do the work that he sent us here to do. So obviously we can look at Nephi and his journey and apply what we learn from him to the journey of our own. But for this discussion, I want you to see Nephi on one side and Laman and Lemuel on the other side as two parts of yourself, the two competing voices. We very often give in to the Laman and Lemuel side, right? We tell ourselves things like, it's too hard, I don't know how, people will be upset, I'm not getting clear enough revelation, and so forth. We have all used those excuses. But now is the moment that we need to call it like it is. Those thoughts are excuses. We need to call up the Nephi voice within us and ask, can't you remember the feeling you've had and the direction you were given? But notice that Nephi's approach is not just to remind Laman and Lemuel that they've seen an angel and that God is directing this. He reminds them of a very recent experience. How is it that you have forgotten what great things the Lord hath done for us in delivering us out of the hands of Laban, and also that we should obtain the record? That's two things. God helped them get the record like they were sent to do, but he also delivered them out of the trouble that came up from trying. We need to remember the times that the Lord has helped and protected us and use that as a part of our own self-pep talks when it is tempting to make excuses instead of moving forward. So you may remember what I have said about praise, that praising God is not for His benefit. It is a chance to bear testimony to ourselves and remind ourselves that He's got this and that things are going to be okay. So I'm going to close with 1 Nephi 17:13, and I want you to remember two things. First, the scriptures are a record of God's dealings with regular, flawed, doing their best, and also screwing up people just like you and me. God is no respecter of persons, so read the promises that are given in the scriptures and ask, why not me? And second, God promises to be Nephi's light in the wilderness. If you have not experienced that light, have you gone out into the wilderness of things that you haven't done? Or are you staying in your comfort zone where there is no need for added light? So 1 Nephi 17:13, and I will also be your light in the wilderness, and I will prepare the way before you, if it so be that ye shall keep my commandments. Wherefore, inasmuch as ye shall keep my commandments, ye shall be led toward the promised land, and ye shall know that it is by me that ye are led. So, give that some thought. If you have any questions about a more secular application, I would love to chat with you. And please be mindful of those two competing voices in your head, that you've got one side that's trying to make excuses, and you've got another side that's ready to move forward. So you need to choose which one you're going to listen to. Have a great day.